So why view own stay property as an investment tool? Number one, I just want to highlight to you the returns are not fantastic, but the absolute return is okay. What do I mean by that? So if you talk about percentage return, is actually not fantastic. Okay. Let me just I actually have done some research. Okay, by the way, do you all want all this Excel spreadsheet? Does it make sense to you? Anybody wants all this Excel spreadsheet? If you want, maybe just type a one. No, nobody wants, Okay. Interesting. Okay, so anyway, what I've done here is this. I just use a sample size for District 15, District 15. Okay. Then I just record the average PSF price for 2019 and after that for 2024. So I just use a sample of District 15. So basically to track the percentage price increase over the past 5 years. In fact, it's 5 years. 2019 to 2024, 5 years. So you can see that, wow, some of them actually went up by 70%. Of course, it may not be apple to apple, okay? And the lowest one actually is minus 2%. Okay. So I do a simple average. 5 years, this is 24%. So if you bought a property 5 years ago on average basis, okay. Okay, good. I see people who want it. Okay, can. I'll send this expression to you all. Okay. If you do a simple average of all these returns, about 24%. So 5 years, 24%, you divide by 5 is only roughly about 5% per annum. So I'm quite sure to you all it's no big deal, right? If you actually buy stocks, just dividend alone can be 5-6%, no big deal. And of course, if sometimes you hit capital gain, okay, like sometimes 10%, 20%, it's actually not say like, oh, very difficult. So the point about property investment is that the percentage return actually is not spectacular one. So even if you considered leverage, but after considering the interest rate you pay, actually it's no big deal lah. Okay, percentage-wise. But then why property is actually still interesting is the absolute return. Okay, because property easily talking about $1 million, $2 million. Okay, the absolute amount is quite huge. You think about it. So if let's say, for example, you buy a $2 million property, even though you're talking about 24% over 5 years, about 5% per year, you're talking about $500,000 because of the huge quantum. So even if we just talk about a HDB or 800K property, for example, if actually go up by 5% per annum, it's another 200,000. Okay? Put it this way, think about it. Is it easy to save $200,000 in 5? Not earn, save. Is it easy to save 200,000 in 5 years? Yes or no? Anyone can help me here? Okay, who can easily save 200,000 in 5 years? Okay, you can also keep quiet, right? Okay, so you know it's actually not easy. I'll put it this way. Even let's say, for example, stocks can give you better return, but is it likely for you to invest 2 million at one time? So my point here is this: if you compare returns, property not exciting, okay, but because it's a big ticket item, the absolute return is actually quite. So you can't really ignore it. You can't really say that only 5%. I go and buy stocks, I can do options, I can hit 20%. What is 5%? So it's like yep, percentage wise not exciting, but in terms of absolute, okay, I don't think you can ignore, especially like let's say for own stay property, very likely it's actually one of the biggest ticket item. Okay, so if even you just buy a $500,000 HDB, that's $500,000. That's quite a bit of money also. So if you just want to say that property for own stay, not for investment, and you miss out this part, I thought it's actually quite wasted. And I know investment objective cannot be for rental, okay, but it can also can help you to achieve a lot of different investment objectives. Like for example, you can actually release funds from current properties. Okay, especially for those who actually stay in HDB, you know that whatever you pay HDB already, right, you cannot take out the money. You cannot do refinance for HDB. Okay. So if let's say you go and upgrade, okay, in fact, you can release some cash out. So later I would have one example to show you. Then it's clearer. So interestingly, sometimes after you upgrade, you can be more cash rich. Then of course with the cash, you can go and do certain other investments. Okay. So in the with property, you can with an investment property, you can actually play this what we call the rental spread game. Now, what is this game is about? So basically, if let's say, for example, if you have an investment mindset for investment mindset for property, right? What you would likely want to do is to buy a bigger property. Okay, so eventually when you retire, you only have one property, correct? So eventually, when you retire, okay, you don't have another property to give you passive income. But what you can do here is this, because you have a bigger property, you go and rent out, then you go and rent a smaller one. Then you can actually generate cash from there. Okay, so but if let's say, for example, if you don't have this investment mindset, so assuming only two of you, okay, then you just go and buy, you think, I only need one bedroom, one bedder. Okay, I only need your one bedder. Then you go and invest in one bedder. Then eventually when you retire, you want to generate cash, you cannot. You want bedder, then what? You go and rent a studio, then after that get the difference, cannot. So whereas let's say, for example, now you're working, you go and buy for example, a four bedder. Even though you may not need so much space, you go and buy a four bedder. Eventually, you just go and rent a one bedder, two bedder. Then there is definitely going to be a rental spread. Okay. So these are, as a property, there are different ways for to generate cash. So of course, it's a store of wealth. Okay, we talk about that later. So basically, property can help you store wealth, and if you actually want to release a wealth, then of course you can downgrade. I think it's quite straightforward. So again, that's why if you have the investment mindset, for property, so again, getting a bigger property can be actually quite interesting. And lastly, yes, it doesn't give you rental, but it can be a tool for wealth retention and for legacy. So my point here is this: even though if it's own state property, I think we shouldn't just write it off and say this is not for investment. So in fact, property, besides giving you rental, okay, there are different ways for you to actually create investment objective out of your own state property, as per what I've stated here. I would say so. Lung, thank you so much. 9-year lease. Okay, you're not talking about HDB, right? It's a condo, right? Can I just confirm? Can I just confirm that you're talking about condo but not HDB? Yes. Okay, then I would say it's a store of wealth. Okay, so because so far, Singapore has been quite interesting. Of course, Singapore, we have en bloc. Okay, so even now, that's why even older property, even standard older property, they can still maintain the value because of en bloc. So currently the rule is, let's say, even a property left 60 years, if I'm a developer, I go en bloc. After I buy over from you, I can just top up with URA, then can go back to 99. So that's why, even it's a 9-year property, I think it's a good store of wealth. So, but of course, if you are thinking of really passing on the property for the next 5 generation type, or next 3 generation type, then of course have to be freehold. But in terms of just passing on to next generation, I think a good 9-year property, okay, is actually good enough. It's actually a good store of wealth for them. Okay, so question. So what I have actually shared is hopefully start giving you up ideas, even your own property, own state property. Okay, you should also see as an investment vehicle rather than just plainly a roof over your head. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, why? Because number one, from absolute return perspective, it actually can be quite interesting. Number two, it can help you to achieve all this different investment objective. Okay, I pause here for a while. Anybody has any questions or comments? Non-fuel properties, not really. So again, I have to disagree with you. If you talk about HDB, yes, okay. If you talk about HDB, after certain years, the value will get depreciated because there is what do you call that? The tenure is actually reducing, and HDB, there's only one developer that can en bloc it, which is HDB. So if they decided not to, then too bad. Okay, but in terms of private, okay, I know theoretically speaking, the value will depreciate, but if you actually look at all the historical numbers, so far, no lah. So if let's say, for example, you say that, if let's say I have this property that only left about 65 years old, okay, and the value, doesn't go up much anymore. Okay, but if you think about it, if you actually bought this property 30 years ago, even the value don't even the value stop growing. If you bought this property 30 years, you also have made quite a bit of money already. Okay. And like I said, so far a lot of old properties are by en bloc, so they can actually maintain the value. There are landed properties in Geylang after 99 years turn to zero. You can buy landed property in SG, of course. Also, of course, those landed freehold property in SG. Okay, landed. Okay, maybe you have to. So of course you have enough money, you can buy land. Sure, I mean you buy landed property. After you buy the land, then you tear away the whatever structure on top. It's yours already. If you buy a landed property, the land is yours. Then of course, if you are rich enough, you can go and bid for the land for condo development. Okay. So whatever you build on the land, it's up to you. But of course, there are certain rules when you actually want to build the structure on top. Then whether you can dig basement or not, that's another story. Okay. But what a lot of people do now is like they actually buy a lot of the old landed properties, then they tear down everything, then rebuild. Okay. The part about landed property Geylang after 99 turn to zero, okay, that one, maybe you want to show certain indicators, but as per what I know now, basically, so far, if you actually own a property like if you actually bought the property like 30, 40 years ago, right, I don't think you're losing money.